Bomba. Ooh, so nice to be outside. Hey everyone, I'm Victoria. I am an American grad student who is currently living in Bilbao, Spain. I am a master's student in the NOHA Masters in International Program, Masters in International Humanitarian Action Program, and I'm studying at the University of Deusto here in Bilbao and at the University of Malta. It is currently day 10 of quarantine, and yeah, it is March 24th, 2020, which makes things interesting. So, surprise, surprise, today I haven't done much. It's been a pretty relaxed day. It's nice and warm out, got enough sleep last night, and yeah, not much to really report on. I worked on some Spanish homework earlier, I worked on some schoolwork, I checked emails, did just random stuff that so today's been pretty boring. I guess I'm just kind of trying to settle right now into just being okay, and I'm really good at getting there so far. Things are getting kind of crazy around here, and I've checked the news and just seen stuff in the news about what's happening a little bit. I'm trying not to follow too closely because it gets very distressing, especially when I know I'm just going to be staying in my apartment and doing what I need to do in order to stay in quarantine, and to keep my community healthy. I think I might explain why it's so important that social distancing occurs. I'm not a public health expert at any means, and everything I say is kind of my own opinion. I did study, I took a public health course last semester in Malta. My professor was in charge of public health for the country. She's such a nice lady, and I'm so thankful that I had that opportunity. Anyway, one of the things that's most important when you're dealing with crises like this is to minimize everything and to make sure to minimize the loss of life, the rate of infections, and to make things much more manageable. So the best way to do this when you have a virus that you cannot understand and you cannot control, and it spreads without people even realizing they have it, and people can just be carriers randomly. As I'm sure there are people who are much smarter and more educated will say, at least smarter and more educated than me will say, they'll go into more of the details. But the most important thing is to keep, like for me, example, Spain is one of the worst hit countries right now by COVID-19. But I am safe because I am doing what I need to do to stay safe, which means I'm staying in my apartment and I only leave to go to the grocery store. Even though I might be losing my mind by not being able to just walk the block to the river and look out, I know I'm not infecting the people around me because the only people I have around me are my two roommates, Julia and Alvaro, and there's no way for me to get infected otherwise. So think about the people you live with. Do you want to infect them with the virus? Chances are no. If you live alone, you have no rate of transmission from anybody else other than yourself. So if you remove yourself from the equation, that automatically reduces the amount of people who have the opportunity to get infected. There are essential workers who have to continue working, and it's really awful that the economy is not working, that the economy is crashing and everything is happening the way it is. But the reason why, money is important and other things are important, but if you don't have people, then to what cost do you give a human life? What happens when hospitals get overrun and things are forced to be triaged, not just in a normal means of triaging in a hospital, but instead to be triaged like in a war zone? Bad things happen. People die who shouldn't be dying. Flattening the curve works because it allows fewer people to get infected at once. Whenever I've taken any class that's related with this as a part of my coursework, the most important thing is to cut down the rate of transmission of diseases and prevent things. What if I go somewhere and I have to set up a camp for refugees? One of the first things we have to look out for is making sure that the hygiene systems are set up in a way that when you're dealing with fecal matter and everything else, the water supply does not get contaminated. That is what causes cholera. So that's, if you are able to do things to prevent that ahead of time, then you don't have to worry about things like an entire population getting infected with cholera and people dying unnecessarily. Or if you are having a bunch of people with unknown vaccine records going into a confined space, one of the things you need to do is you need to make sure everybody has a measles vaccine. That vaccine helps because it reduces the likelihood of people getting measles. And measles, if one person has them, everybody has them. And if you are able to do things to prevent those, that's what you need to be doing. The problem is with COVID-19, there's nothing that you can do to prevent it except for staying away from people. It's ludicrous when I see people trying to minimize the effect of social distancing or saying that the economy is more important than human life because you don't know who it's going to affect. If you don't take strict measures now, the most effective quarantines are the ones that seem the most useless because that means they've worked. If you aren't able to be in the same realm of understanding that viruses don't work like humans. They don't pick and choose. It's not like when you're playing kickball or something as a kid in PE class and you go up and you have two people who choose the teams and one person says, oh, I want this person. Oh, I want this person. Chances are you don't get to do that if you're sick. Young, healthy people can get sick. Vulnerable groups can get sick. Older people can get sick. Anyone has the opportunity to get sick. It might be more likely for people who are older to get sick, but that doesn't reduce your risk as a young person. Who makes it so that you aren't susceptible? Can you get a cold? Yes. Can you get the flu? Yes. Can you be one of the traditionally outlier groups and still get infected? Of course. Don't think so highly of yourself that you're above the impartiality of a virus. You can't control how it thinks. It doesn't even have anything that would allow it to think. The goal of a virus or any sort of disease, is to keep on spreading and multiplying so it can go to more places. And this COVID-19 disease, or the SARS, I can't remember the actual name of the virus. I just refer to it as COVID-19. But by using COVID-19 as a means, it's an equalizer. It's a global equalizer. So remember, you're not alone in this, and that the reason why big government is taking big decisions right now is because somebody has to make those hard calls. And in my opinion, this is what I believe. If I was in leadership, I would rather have people not like me than for them to be dead. You're not going to make everyone happy, and that's a matter of life. Not everybody is going to like you. Not everybody is going to be happy with the decisions you make. But you need to be strategic and you need to be smart and make calculated risks and to understand what the effects and consequences of what your choices are. That's called life. You have to make a choice every day. You can choose, do I go to this party? Do I go to this other party? Or do I stay home? If you can't make a decision and you just end up staying in your bedroom and you don't know where you're going, you've already made a decision because you chose not to act. Everything you do, you are making either a decision that you knew about, or you're unknowingly making a decision. So it's not about you. The world doesn't revolve around you. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, today's been pretty boring. Just having good weather and working on stuff. So yeah, today's song is interesting. I hope it's good. So we'll see what happens. So let's go with the parody for today. Might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Wash your hands and you'll be okay. I'm more worried about my community COVID-19 don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm healthy even so. Because I'm healthy, stay at home even if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm healthy, stay at home even if you feel like the news isn't the truth. Because I'm healthy, stay at home even if you know that boredom isn't for you. Because I'm healthy, stay at home even if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm healthy. Okay. That was an interesting turn of events. So I was almost too late to get to the applause tonight because I got distracted, and yeah, but I did get some footage and I did go out and applaud everyone. So yeah, I thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like, comment, subscribe, that would be amazing. Yeah, so the clapping and applause at the end of this video is for everyone who is working and keeping the world running. It's for doctors and nurses and people fighting COVID-19 and all of this. The people who are making the world function while the rest of us need to be smart and do the right thing for the good of the world and stay home. So you are much appreciated and the applause is for you. So be smart, stay safe, be healthy, generally good things. Anyway, have a wonderful evening. So glad you could join me. Good night.